Hey guys, I'm gonna do a different type of video today. It's not gonna be travel related. It's not gonna be Bath and Body Works related or anything like that. It's actually gonna be the pros and cons of working at Amazon. I worked at Amazon for a year and 2 months, and with the holidays coming up, folks are gonna be looking for seasonal jobs to get extra money for the holiday season, and Amazon is always hiring. So before you submit that application, watch this video to determine if you want to work there or not. Because with me being there for a year and some change, I feel like I have a good insight of the good and the bad of working there. Yeah, let's start with the pros of working at Amazon. Pro number one would have to be it's easy to get a job there. And what I mean by that is that you can just, go on Indeed, submit an application for Amazon, pick a shift, and either that day or the very next day, they'll just tell you to come in, take your badge photo, do the drug test, and you'll start within that week. So you can literally start working at Amazon within a week of submitting an application there. There's no interview whatsoever. Just walk in, take a picture, drug test, you're good to go. Pro number two would be the benefits. The benefits are actually really, really good. They should be for a multi-trillion-dollar company, but it's the principle. Yeah, the benefits are really good for dental, vision, medical, etc. They're very, very good. It's a lot of that's a reason why a lot of people stay at Amazon just because of the benefits. No matter how bad the job sucks, people stay there just because the benefits are so good. Um, Pro number three would have to, I would say, they make it easy for you to get vaccinated. So they have vaccine events every couple of months. So if you don't have the vaccine, Amazon makes it easy for you to get it, and you can do both doses there as well. I did it way back in March when they had the very first vaccine event, so I was taken care of, so I didn't have to go to a pharmacy or a doctor's office or hospital or whatever to get the vaccine. I just did it right while I was at work, and you can schedule it during your shift or you can go during an off day, which is nice. Pro number four would I would say there's no age discrimination there. So there's a lot of you have people from working as young as 18 to as old as their mid 60s working at Amazon. There's something for everybody to do there. So for those old folks that like working, just get a job at Amazon, and you can just make some money. There's something for you to do there. There's something for everybody to do at Amazon, regardless of age. Pro number five, I would say the multicultural awareness there. There's a lot of art at my particular warehouse, at least. It's a giant melting pot. You have people from all different cultures working there, speaking different languages, and you also have uh, you know deaf people working there too. So, like I said, there's something to do for everybody there, and they definitely acknowledge all the the cultural aspect of life at Amazon. They have different events for, like, for example, in September they had a lot of events for Hispanic Heritage Month. Back in February, they had stuff going on for Black History Months. They have a lot of stuff going on for different cultures around, throughout the year. So it's pretty cool. So you feel the inclusivity there is really, really good. So you don't feel left out. Um, I feel like those are really the only pros I would say about working at Amazon. So let's get to the cons because I feel like the cons definitely outweigh the pros. That's why a lot of people just don't like working there because there's a lot bad with the place. And the biggest con for me is the unrealistic expectations they want you to meet. So, for example, I was a picker. Essentially, we would just scan items, put them in the right bin, push it through to the conveyor belt or whatever. And they want you to pick between 350 and 400 items per hour. In theory, it can be done, but there's a lot of variables that come into play. For example, when a pod comes, a lot of times you'll get jewelry in like these little tiny packets, and a lot of times it's the wrong barcodes. You have to scan them all until you find the right one, and that'll slow you down. On top of that, the way items are stowed in there by the stowers, you can barely even get the item out of there. Like they put a box in there to the point where you don't even know how they got it in there in the first place. It's going to take you forever to get it out, so that's going to slow you down. On top of that, you have a lot of heavy items towards the bottom of the pod, so that's going to help. That's going to slow you down as well. And they expect you to pick at a constant pace for 10 hours. I'll get to that. I'll get to the 10-hour shift in a second. But for 10 hours, they want you to pick between 350 and 400 items an hour. It's fatigue is a thing. You're going to get tired. It's just not possible. We're humans. We're not robots. And then, with the rates, they'll come audit you if you're not meeting your rate, and then they'll ask you like, do you know what the rate is supposed to be? And that's the part that I don't like, because one week they'll say the rate is 350, the next week they'll say it's 400, the next week they'll say it's 325. And at this point, I just tell them I don't know, because you guys keep changing it once a week. And I feel like that's why the turnover rate is so high there, is because people aren't meeting the rate because they don't know what the rate is. They keep changing it. So that's the biggest con, is just the unrealistic expectations there. Con number 2 is being micromanaged. So you have a manager, but they don't manage you. The computer manages you. So a manager will come talk to you because the computer says you were picking at this rate when it's supposed to be higher than that. The managers, in my opinion, are the most useless people in the building, because they literally just walk around the floor with a computer and go based off what the computer says. Regardless of what you say, the computer, whatever the computer says goes. It's just that simple. You can't even argue with them about it, because the computer micromanages you. And like I said, the managers are completely useless. They don't do a thing but look at the computer and tell you, hey, you are picking this rate. Do better, essentially. Con number 3 is the lack of acknowledgement from your supervisor / managers. So like, you could be making rate all day, but you won't hear anything from the manager saying, hey, good job. There's no motivation whatsoever. None at all. But the moment you stop picking at rate, they want to come talk to you. So it's pretty demoralizing, because why on earth, why would I pick at rate and not be acknowledged for it? And that's why I say picking fast is overrated, because there's no incentive for working hard. That's actually that's another con. Con number 4. There's no incentive for working hard whatsoever. So you can pick rate all day and won't get anything for it. You'll get like if you pick like 5,000 items in a day, which is really damn hard, you'll get your picture taken and put on a wall. Like, so you mean to tell me I'm gonna bust my butt for 10 hours just to get my picture taken? No. You gotta come with better incentives to that, Amazon, because there's no motivation to work hard. Because regardless of how fast you pick, we're all getting paid the same. It's just that simple. So there's really no point in working hard if there's no incentive to do so. Con number 5. I would say that the breaks, specifically the second break. They call it a scan to scan break. So what that means is our second break is at 2:30 to 3:05, 35 minutes. But they want you to scan your last item at 2:30 before you go to break, and then be back at your station by 3:05 working. So in theory, you get a 35-minute break, but it doesn't work that way, because the break rooms are so far away from your station. It's going to take you like 7, 8 minutes to even get to the nearest break room. Then you want to sit down and relax. And then you got to leave the break room like 10 minutes early just to get back to your station on time. So realistically, you don't get a 35-minute break. It's more like 15. So I don't know about y'all, but I earned that 30-minute break. I'm gonna take all 30 minutes, and I'll just let you know now. Nobody in my warehouse they don't follow it at all. Some people get back to their stations at like 3:10, 3:15 because yeah, you earn that break. Con number 6: you cannot sit down at all unless you're on break. So if you're like, let's say if the line goes down or whatever, they tell you cannot sit down, but people do it anyway. I do it too. I sit on the little step that you step up going into the station because there's no point in me standing up if I'm not working. It's just there's no point. What am I standing up for? And then if you have to go, if the whole floor has to stand down, meaning everybody stops working, you still can't sit down. You just have to stand there until they tell you to start working again. So you cannot sit down at all. Um, Con number 7 is the time off task policy, which is the biggest load of BS I've ever heard at any workplace. So they, like I said, with the computer, with the computer, the managers carry, it keeps track of the time that you're not working as well. So how they measure that is that however long that you're not scanning an item, they count that against you, regardless of what happens. Like if the pods are slowing down, or if you have to go to the bathroom, which is the biggest reason for a lot for it's the biggest reason for time off task, they count that against you. So there's 4 bathrooms per floor, 2 on the north side, 2 on the south side, none on the east or west side. So if you're at a station on the far north or south side, it's going to take you almost 5 minutes to even get to the bathroom. Then you got to use the bathroom and then go back to your station. So that's literally 10 minutes or more, depending on if you got to do number 1 or number 2 in the bathroom. They're going to count that against you. And they expect you to have a 3-minute bathroom break. And that's impossible based off what your station is. And a lot of times we go to the bathroom, the bathrooms are getting cleaned by the cleaning crew. So you have to either go up or down a floor to go to the nearest bathroom. And if you got to go to number 2, it's not going to take you, I'm just saying, it's not going to take me 3 minutes to take a shit. I'm just saying. It's just not. So you're going to cure so much TOT just trying to use the bathroom. So they expect you to hold it until your next break. So, that's not good for your bladder or your bowels, holding it for 4 hours until the next break. It's not going to happen. It's just not. And, they'll use that against you and write you up for having too much TOT. Con number 8 is the pay. So Amazon, they'll start you at $15 an hour. That's what they started me at least. I'm not sure what it is now. But for the amount of work and what they expect us to do, it's definitely underpaid compared to its competitors like UPS and FedEx. You do all this work and get paid $15 an hour. I just feel like it's severely underpaid. Jeff Bezos has so much money; he can give everybody a raise. It wouldn't even hurt him. It's just that simple. I just feel like Amazon should just pay us more for the amount of work we do and how hard we work to get you guys packages on time. It's just, I feel like it's just severely underpaid, honestly. But yeah, those are honestly the biggest cons for me. I can't think of any more now, but those are like the main cons. But yeah, if you guys are considering working at Amazon, go for it if you really want to. But I personally don't recommend it unless you absolutely have to. Like if you're strapped for cash or whatever the case may be, just get a job at Amazon. It's quick and easy, but it will. I'll give you guys one more con, is that it'll mentally train you. You'll get used to the physical, but mentally it's really going to affect you. Like if you have really bad depression or anxiety, it's gonna make it worse. It really is. I'm just being honest with you. Working at Amazon will really just it will mentally destroy you. And I mean, that's just putting it lightly. It just, you feel the isolation there. You feel it's just the monotony of it all. It'll really get to you mentally. You'll get used to working there, but mentally you're just going to be drained. But yeah, like I said, with the holidays coming up, go ahead and get a job if you at Amazon to make extra money. But I personally do not recommend it whatsoever. But if you guys like this video, I definitely appreciate the comments. And if you want me to make a tips for working at Amazon video, just drop the feedback below and I'll go ahead and do it. But if you have any questions or further questions, just go ahead and leave a comment. I'll definitely respond. But yeah, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.